I said, how much do you
Oh,
want?
oh, you mean paying the studio, the
Yeah.
radios? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today on today's edition of Comfort HUD Homes. We are so happy to have you. Today, we're going to talk about owning HUD Homes. And I know why HUD Homes. HUD Homes has value.
Absolutely, Comfort. HUD Homes have value. Everybody wants to find a list of foreclosures, right?
Yes.
Because that's where they know, right? People,
Yes.
unfortunately, right, where people have some misfortune,
Mhm.
creates opportunities for others.
Yes.
So, a lot of times when you go to investor seminars or how to buy value in real estate, they always talk about buying foreclosures.
Okay.
Well, how do you find them? Well, we already know,
Okay.
right? HUD Homes are all foreclosures.
All foreclosure.
And foreclosure equals value. So
Exactly.
that's the main reason for HUD Homes, is because there's always going to be value there, right? When people go look at HUD Homes, right,
Yes.
and it's all throughout the area, right? So it's Maryland, D.C., Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware.
Mhm.
You can go find your property, and there's going to be value there compared to other houses that are just on the market.
Exactly. And there's always first thing first. You go online, www.hudhomestore.com, and you click on register as a public. Once you click on public, the whole 9 yards tells you what needs to be done, how you can go about it. Once you register with HUD, then you start to browse wherever you want to live. If you want to live in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, you just go down there and start browsing, and the rest is history. But before you do that, because they keep changing
Mm-hmm.
their system. Now they are, if the houses it used to be $1,000 NS money deposit.
Yes.
But now they went up to $2,000 if the property is, over 50,000. But for 250, it goes up. It's more and more. So, and now it's got to be a certified fund. They don't accept,
Just a regular check.
just regular check anymore.
Right. So two things when it comes down to that. One, HUDHomestore.com is a great place to look, right?
Yes.
So as you go through that process, if you want to be home one night, you're watching television, and you want to kind of go look for houses that might be a good fit for you,
Yes.
you go to the website. You can look at by county. You can look at by zip code, right? So you can find, where, as Comfort said, where you want to live.
Yes.
Right. You can find the right opportunity for you, and you go look at it. Now, that's just to look, right? So you can find things that you're interested in. If you actually want to bid, and there's a bidding process,
Mhm.
you actually have to work through a HUD-approved agent,
Yes.
which would be Comfort,
Yes.
because you cannot bid on a property as a general public. It has to be done through a HUD-owned agent.
Yes.
But more importantly, to Comfort's point, once you write an earnest money deposit, that's certified funds, and if your contract's accepted, if you can't close, that money's forfeited. HUD keeps your earnest money deposit. So how do you stop that from becoming an issue?
Okay.
You have to get pre-approved.
Pre-approved.
Right? Always pre-approved. What you want to do is you want to work with a lender, with Fidelity,
Yes.
and one of the members of our team, and we'll help you get pre-approved. And that's not just a qualification. We're actually going to approve you. We're going to look at your income docs. We're going to look at your cash to close.
Exactly.
We're going to look at, what your reserves would be. So we're going to issue a full approval,
Yes.
and that approval is just like making you a cash buyer.
Okay.
Subject to the property coming in as the appraised value, right, as indicated on the HUD Home Store.
Yes.
As long as that value comes in, then you can be approved.
Okay.
But you want to go through that process first, because you don't want to write an earnest money deposit,
No.
which is certified funds,
Yes.
and not get approved for a loan, because then that money's going to be gone. You don't want to see that happen to you. So going on look. I encourage everybody that's looking at homes, spend some time on the website. Like,
Yes.
look at different geographies, look at different zip codes, see what's out there, right? And so it gives you a good idea of what's in your price range, what's in the areas you want to live, right?
Mhm.
And that gives you an idea. Once you have that idea, then you have to work with HUD-approved agent Comfort
Okay.
to actually make a bid, right? You narrow down your properties. You may go look at some with Comfort, go visit the property. You can't visit it without a HUD-approved agent, right? Because you can't get access to the property. Once you visit the property and you decide to write, It's a little bit different than your standard real estate, right? You're not going to have Comfort just write a contract for you. You actually have to bid. These are all on auctions.
And they are all dated items.
They're all dated items, right?
Time
is right. When you go to the website and you click on a property and you look at the right corner, it's going to tell you when the bid period expires.
Yes.
It's usually 11:59 on the Sunday night.
Yes.
11:59 on the Sunday night. You have to put your bid in.
Yes.
And once your bid comes in, then your bid's accepted.
Yes.
Once that bid's accepted, then you go to contract. Once your bid's accepted, you have to put the earnest money deposit in, and then you go forward and write a contract, and that's where Comfort would help you write the contract as a HUD approved agent. So that's kind of the process. So keep in mind.
Not only that, not only help you write the contract, I have to show you, and you have to make sure what you see is what you get. So in case, of any discrepancy, if you don't like the house, then don't submit the offer in order for you not to forfeit your earnest money deposit. Also, I only work with professionals. I work with Mr. Carter here. He's very knowledgeable about his product. He's been doing this since he was 7 years old.
That's the only way I get 35 years into business, Comfort. I had to start when I was 7. So
I was still in Pampers when
he
started, so he knows his stuff. And he worked with a lot of professionals that can pre-qualify you within 5 minutes. So there's no reason for you to lose your earnest money deposit. And it's not even going to happen on my watch.
Right, we want to protect. We want
to protect you because I want to not just sell you a HUD Homes because it has value in it and bye-bye, see you later. I want you to remain a loyal customer and keep you in your own home.
That's important, right? One of the goals that you have, right, as a homeowner, it's not
Yes.
just buying a home. You want to make sure it's the right fit for you.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you can carry the payment, and it's the right financial decision for you, because it's not owning a home that's important, it's also staying in a home. We want to do that. Okay. 2 things that are important with HUD Homes. When you're looking on the website, keep in mind, all HUD properties are sold as is.
What you see is what you get.
Right, exactly. That's what it means. What you see, what you get. HUD is not going to make repairs.
No.
Right, so it's important that you inspect the property. And it's important that once you've found the property, that you work with a lender to make sure that that property is going to qualify for minimum property standards. For most of you are going to use FHA loans to get your new property.
Yes.
But you got to make sure that the property meets minimum property standards.
Okay.
So one way to do that is when you're looking at the website, you click on a property. It's going to say insured or uninsured. Okay. Right now, if it's insured, if you look on the right when it lists the property, it's going to say FHA insured. What that means the property more than likely, it's not guaranteed, but more than likely that property will meet minimum property standards so for the property to qualify for an FHA loan.
Yes.
If it says uninsured, what that means is that property will not qualify for an FHA loan. Does that mean you can't buy it? No. What it means is you may need a renovation program to do that, right? Okay. So you may look at a 203K, or you may look at a home style product where we give you the money or advance you the money actually to buy the property, but we also set up an escrow for you to repair the property and make it the property that you want, and also get the property up to minimum property standards. So you have to be careful, because if you write an as-is contract and the property fails, the reality is your earnest money deposit is still at risk. So as is as is, which means even if the property doesn't appraise, you're still liable for fulfilling the terms of the contract based on your earnest money deposit. So you have to be careful. Once again, Comfort on the website. Insured means it's probably going to meet FHA requirements.
Okay.
Uninsured means it's not going to. It's got repairs that need to happen. Right. Keep in mind, HUD doesn't make repairs.
Okay.
Not at all. Doesn't mean you can't buy it. What it means is you're going to have either the cash to make the repairs right after you close, or you're going to look at a type of loan. Normally it'll be what's called an FHA 203K, where we advance you the money to buy the home, and we advance you the money in form of an escrow to repair the house. Now keep in mind, Comfort, because you're looking at what we call deferred maintenance properties, right? A lot of times foreclosures, sometimes people didn't take great care of them. but that's also why there's value there.
Yes.
So, there are things where you can look at a HUD home and, maybe the carpet's not right, or you want to paint it, or you want to maybe replace the appliances.
Yes.
That's okay, and we can do that for you with the 203K, where we can
Yes.
give you the money to do those things. So it's not just taking a property that needs a lot of repair. There are properties that are just perfect from where you want to be from a location.
Okay.
And it's great size for you, and the yacht and the yard is perfect, right? All those
Yes.
things are great, but maybe the inside just needs a little tender loving care, right? It needs just a
Exactly.
little bit of
TLC.
repair. A little bit of TLC goes a long way.
Yes.
Right, so we have opportunities for you to do that, right? Where you can get the money to buy it,
Yes.
and get the money to fix it up and make the house perfect, right?
Okay.
Take your dream home and make it your perfect home, right?
Exactly. Make it what you want.
Make it what you want, right?
Oh.
Take a house and make it your dream
Okay.
home, right?
Let them know why this is the best time to buy, because nowadays, it's even cheaper to buy than to
Right,
rent.
there's three really good reasons why you should buy today, right?
Okay.
First off, if you're renting, right, we know that rental areas, rental prices in our area, right, the DC, Baltimore, DC, Northern Virginia Metroplex, rents are the fourth highest rents in the country. So I would tell you, everybody watching today, more than likely, you would be able to buy a HUD home today and pay equal to or less than what you're paying in rent. That's number one. And if you're renting, right, what's happening as property values increase and rents are, rental properties are in demand,
Yes.
that means your landlord can very easily raise your rent. How do you protect How do you protect your family, right? You protect your family from what a landlord decides to do, whether they decide to sell their house because the market's hot, or they decide to raise rent because the market's hot, right? What do you do to protect your family? Well, ownership is the best way to protect your family. So I think it's a great time to do that, because if you're renting today, you can buy for equal to or less than you're paying in rent. You can almost say that in all the markets we're in, just because rent prices are so high in the DC marketplace. Number two, right now, interest rates are at historic lows. Now, unfortunately, they're not as low as they were a year ago, right? We saw interest rates in the threes. Well, interest rates are on the up escalator, right?
Yes.
They're going up.
What goes up must come down.
Right, they're going up.
Right.
So what we're seeing now is we're seeing a little upward pressure on interest rates. The Fed has indicated that they are going to raise interest rates 2 more times this year, which means we're at probably the lowest point that we've seen
Yes.
for 2018, and the rates are probably going to increase. So what you want to try to do right now is look at buying today, because we know rates are going to go higher. Now, I don't think they're going to go to 7, 8, 9, 10%. I don't think that's going to happen. What we could see, though, is rates go from the 4s to the mid-5s, which is still a very tenable market. A lot of people will buy
Yes.
in that price range, but if you can buy when it's a little cheaper, why wouldn't you do that, right? So you want to move early.
Exactly.
Right, so we know that right now you can buy for probably cheaper than you're paying rent. You want to buy before interest rates go up. And the third reason is property values are going up, right? So we are definitely in an area where property values are going up, which means it's a good investment. So there's two
Yes.
things. The earlier you buy, the more money you make.
Yes.
Right? If I wait, the townhouse I want today that's $300,000 in a year is probably going to be worth $310 or $312, right? Just a normal appreciation rate.
Property values
Right.
is always going
Sure.
up.
So you
Unlike
lost-
cars.
Right, cars, you drive it off lot, goes down in value right away, right? So you're probably going to lose $9,000 to $10,000 just waiting a year, right? What are you waiting for?
The longer
right?
you wait,
The longer you wait,
the more difficult.
the more difficult it gets, right?
Yes.
It's one of the things that happens is in real estate's an interesting component, right? The earlier you get into it, the more money you make,
Yes.
right? And if you want to start creating what I call generational wealth for your family,
Yes.
generational wealth for your family is created through real estate, right? If you look at every other investment that it's compared to, real estate's going to be your best investment, and it's going to be your best investment because of one simple fact, right? You've got to pay to live somewhere, right?
Yes.
If you're going to pay to live somewhere, every time you make a rent payment, comfort, who gets rich?
Your landlord.
Landlord, right?
And they don't want you to
right,
to
and
move.
right, and every time you make a payment when it's your property, who
Yes.
gets rich?
Yes.
You do,
Yes.
right? So you have to ask yourself the question: do I want to invest my money to help somebody else become rich,
Yes.
or do I want to invest my money to help me become rich? What am I going to do, right? You want to make those payments, right?
And plus, there's a whole lot of incentives out there.
Yes. Whole lot of
Tell them
incentives.
about the grant,
Right.
not loan.
Right now,
Grants.
there's a grant that we put together with Fairfax Realty and we're looking to work with this with HUD Homes, that for buyers looking to buy, doesn't have to be their first home, it just has to be their only home, right?
Okay.
It has to be owner occupied.
Okay.
That we have grant money available up to the amount of $18,000.
Grant, not loan.
Right, which means it's forgiven day one. You don't have to pay it back. It's a grant, right? It's a grant that we give you
$18,000.
up to $18,000, right, for first-time home buyers to buy their first
You can't
property.
beat that.
You can't beat that. All you have to do is make less than $156,000 in Prince George's County, Montgomery County, or
Yes.
less than $126,000 in Anne Arundel County and Howard County, right?
Okay.
So, because it's an affordable lending program. Now, there's a lot of people, right there, the family income is less than that $150,000 number, that could buy a house up to $453,000 and get $18,000 worth of free money. It's a concept called OPM. You know what OPM is, Comfort?
No, not
Other people's money, right? Right. One of the best
Now I do.
Right. One of the best investing strategies.
I like that.
Right. One of the best investment strategies have is, can you use other people's money to get done what you want to get
Of
done?
course. Even
Right.
if you have $200,000 cash, why use that?
Well,
Why not?
if I was going to walk up to you and say, "Hey, Comfort, here's $18,000. You can have it the day you close," what are you going to say to me?
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, right? Thank you very much, right? I want to take that $18,000, right, and I want to use it, right, because it's free money.
Yes.
So, one of the things that happens, right, you think about this and say, okay, if I'm saving $500 a month to buy my first house, right, that might be hard for a lot of people today, right, because rents are very expensive, and you have student loans, and you don't get any tax break.
Yes.
Coming up with $500 a month can be very, very difficult.
Yes.
So if we said, okay, if I could do that,
Yes.
if I could really do that,
Yes.
$500 a month, how many years is it going to take me to save $18,000? 3 years.
That.
3 years to get $18,000.
Something else might come up.
Well, yeah, right. Well, you might not be able to save $500 a month, right? And now, why I'm waiting those 3 years? That same $300,000 house at a 3% appreciation rate is now worth
gonna go up.
Right, it's worth $327,000.
I know.
So while I'm trying to save 18, I just lost 27.
Yes.
Right. So one of the things that happens is this, right? The faster you get engaged in real estate, the faster you can start building generational wealth for your family.
Yes.
You don't have to wait. What I can tell everybody watching here today, everybody, right? If you have decent credit, doesn't have to be great credit, just have decent credit. If you are employed and you make less than $150,000, you can buy a house today and we'll give you $18,000 to buy your first house. Now think about this. You look at combining values, right? You look at the value that you have inherently in HUD homes because they are foreclosures, right? You look, there's value there, so I'm making a good buy, right? I'm making a good investment.
Yes.
Now, you take the same thing and you take that HUD home value and then you would add an $18,000 grant on top of it.
Yes.
Man, you're making money hand over fist, right?
Exactly.
Because the
A lot of
grant's free,
money.
the grant's money is free.
Yes.
Right? If you buy a house that's under market value, because it's a
Yes.
HUD home,
Yes.
you're making money. Right? What's it?
There's
David
already
Wayne's, right? More
equity.
money, more money,
More
more
money,
Right.
more money.
Right, so you're building equity, you've got a grant that makes money, and in addition to that, once you become a homeowner, you get a tax break. Right? One of the hidden profits of real estate is you move as a renter, you have no tax favor, right?
No.
There's nothing deductible, you don't get
No.
any tax benefit. Right? When you go into a homeowner, you
Yes.
get a significant tax benefit in home ownership. Now, I know a lot of people are a little concerned because the tax rules have changed. The reality is mortgage interest is still deductible up to $750,000. Most of our clients that are looking to buy HUD homes are going to make purchases that are less than $750,000, which means all of your mortgage interest is deductible. Same thing, the property tax and state income tax cap is $10,000. Most of you that are going to be looking to buy HUD homes, that property tax cap is still going to be less than that $10,000. So most cases, your property tax is still going to be tax deductible, right? So
Yes.
those are huge wins for you. And what that does, honestly, it makes it cheaper than renting, right? If you have a $2,000 mortgage payment and a $2,000 rent payment, the reality is the interest and property taxes you paid on that $2,000 are tax deductible,
Deductible.
which means that $2,000 payment is really not a $2,000 payment because you have a tax benefit on top of it.
Exactly.
So, right, so you get tax benefit, you build wealth. You buy a house that's undervalued, you build wealth. You get a grant, you build wealth. You build wealth over time. 'cause
It's
your
a
properties-
win-win situation
Right.
for you.
Right.
You cannot lose.
Right, and your
Plus, it's yours.
Right, your property value is going to go up over time, right? You can get a tax break for as long as you own the property. Property value goes up. You have stability. You can make the house your own. You don't have to worry about somebody kicking you out. You build safety for your family.
Mhm.
All of those things are compelling reasons to buy. And the HUD home part is a good part of it. Now, a couple things we need to talk about HUD homes, right?
Yes.
One, HUD promotes owner occupancy.
Exactly.
Right? So what does that mean? That means that if you are an owner occupant, now investors buy HUD homes,
yes.
right? They're welcome and they buy HUD homes. Why do investors buy HUD homes, Comfort?
Because there's value in
Exactly, right? If investors are doing it, right, it's probably a good thing for you to do,
it.
right?
They will buy it and they'll resell it
They'll sell it to you.
to you
Right,
for
right,
more money.
Right, they buy it, fix it up, and sell it to you for more money. Well, I'm like, if it works
Why
for an
can't you do
investor,
the same?
why can't you do the same?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about investors in a minute, but investors are always welcome. But because HUD promotes owner occupant, you have priority. If Comfort is an investor bidding and I'm an owner occupant bidding, they could have the exact same price, right? The exact same net to HUD. I'm going to win because I'm an owner occupied.
Exactly.
She's an investor.
Investor.
HUD promotes owner occupant. Now,
yes.
the reality is, as a non-owner occupant, right? She's able to bid for properties, and if
Yes.
she is the best non-owner occupant bid, then
Yes.
she's going to win.
Yes.
But owner occupants will always take precedence because HUD promotes owner occupancy.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean that investors aren't welcome, right? Investors have the same rules. Your earnest money deposit is has to be certified, and if
Yes.
you don't close, they're going to keep it.
Okay.
The properties that you buy are as is, right?
Yes.
Now, what you can't do as an investor, right? Because we get this question all the time.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put a contract in. I'm going to go fix it up while I'm waiting to go to settlement so I can
No,
sell it
no,
right
no,
as it
no,
closes.
no, you
can't
cannot.
do that, right? You can't
Mhm.
get into the property, right? You can't do any
That'll be
repairs.
trespassing.
Right, you can't do any repairs. I can't
Until
do
you
anything to the
close.
property until you close, right? That's something that's critical. Understand that, right? A lot of times investors want to get in early, they want to jump the gun. I want to do all the work before they close so I can sell it really quickly,
Oh, no,
right?
no.
I want to flip it fast. That's not going to happen. You got to wait to go to settlement, wait till you have ownership of the property.
Exactly.
One of the worst things you could do as investors, get in, do all the work, you spend your money to fix it up. HUD finds out, they cancel your contract, and everything you just did, you just donated to HUD.
And you have to put the house back the way it was.
Well, they'll say, great, we're happy that you invested all your money, and we're going to go sell it for more because you just did it for my behalf.
They will
You
even
just
make-
donated your money to HUD. You don't want to do that,
So
right?
you don't want to waste all
Right,
that
so
time.
they'll cancel your contract and they'll
Mhm.
be very happy for what you did. Oh, you put a new kitchen in? That's awesome. Thank you very much for making that donation.
Yes.
Now we're going to sell our property, and you know what? We're going to change our bidding because we now think it's worth more because you did some of the repairs to it. So you got to be careful with that. So for an investor, a couple things that you have to be careful of, right? So a lot of you watch Flip This House on Saturday morning, and you want to be a flip investor.
Yes.
It's a lot more difficult than what you see in the 30-minute television show, right? So you got to work
Better
with
believe that.
right. You got to work with a realtor partner, such as
Yes.
Comfort, to help you, and a
Yes.
lender that understands how to work with flip buyers, right? That's number one. And number two, you need to make sure that you're doing it early and you understand what needs to get done in a renovation. A lot of times we just think, oh, it's just the cost to fix it up. It's real estate commission, it's insurance, it's taxes paid, it's the commission when I sell it, right? All of those things go into your cost. A lot of times, and I work with hundreds of investors, when they get early into the game, they haven't really thought about those things, right? What we call the soft costs, which actually eat into your profits, right?
Yes.
So we want to make sure that you're working with somebody that helps you understand how to do that and make those things work. So I think those things are very, very important for you for investors. So, you know, as we talk about this month's HUD Home Show,
Yes.
great value for owner occupants, right?
Yes.
Go to HUDHomestore.com.
Yes.
Look around. You know,
Yes.
you don't need an agent to do that. What you need to do is just go and take a look.
You just need an agent to submit an offer.
Right, you need an agent to bid, right?
Yes.
So when you find 3 or 4 properties that kind of fit what you're looking for,
Mhm.
that's when you reach out to Comfort.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, it has to be a HUD approved agent.
Yes.
Not every agent is allowed to bid on properties, right? You have to go through training, you have to be appointed by HUD, which Comfort is.
Yes.
And she runs.
Also, what you need to submit an offer is your earnest money deposit on one hand,
Right.
and a pre-approval letter from FHA approved lender.
You do, 'cause-
Fidelity Direct.
Right.
On the other hand, that's when you come to me.
That's when you can bid.
That's when you can bid. And then I will help you submit the.
Submit the bid.
Yeah.
Right, now that's important. Two things that
Yes.
Comfort brings up. One, if your bid gets accepted, you gotta submit your earnest money deposit right away. So they want the bid's accepted, earnest money deposit has to go.
Certified form.
Right, in addition to that, they want a pre-approval from the lender, right there. Once your bid's approved and they've accepted it, you have to supply a pre-approval letter from a lender, a HUD
Yes.
approved lender, so they can, make sure your bid is valid.